Today I'm going to talk about declarative animations with frame of motion. A little bit about me, I'm Bhargav, and I've been working as a full stack developer remotely for a few years now, 4 or 5 years now. And I work mainly on React, Vue, Svelte, probably Angular a little bit. And my recent interests are mainly X, State, and frame of motion. You can follow me on Twitter and GitHub on my username, I am Bhargav5. And I also run a small YouTube channel where I talk about these topics by and large. Okay, so with that, I'm going to just head into the topic. So frame of motion is an animation library that we can use to animate our React elements and components very declaratively. So before we even get into that, I'm going to show you. One sec. Yeah, so I made a small app beforehand where I'm trying to show a sidebar when I click on it. So one way to implement that would be to simply show the sidebar itself when it's visible, right? If it's not visible, then return null. If it is visible, then return the entire sidebar. So I'm just going to comment these styles for now. And I have a state variable that is governing that. So I'm going to refresh the page. So sidebar is visible. Of course, it's not animating. We haven't done anything to animate it yet. To animate it, what we need is that we need the element to be present in both the states when it's visible and not visible, so that it can animate smoothly with CSS rules. So how would we do that? We can grab the class name here and just start a class name which governs visibility and hidden natures. So I'm going to create a variable called class name. And if sidebar is visible, then I want to append something to the class name. Equals sidebar visible. I already have a few styles here, so I'm just going to uncomment them. Uncommentable. Okay, so I'm going to refresh the page and oops, not using it. Class name equals class name. Okay, a simple sidebar, and I'm just transitioning it. So initially it is hidden. It is translated to the left by 100%, and then I'm just moving it to the right. And how would I animate it? I just simply need to add a transition property to animate the transform property for about 0.5 seconds. Please. So now I can go back, reload the page. The sidebar, right sidebar works perfectly fine. So the important thing here is that the component is the element here is available in both the states. It's visible. Even when it's visible, it has a different class name, but it's definitely in the DOM. So generally, we run into challenges where we are trying to animate elements which are not available when they are when you need to animate them into Vue. For example, some components like bottom sheet, toast, etc. These elements might not always be available in the DOM when you're trying to animate them. And this is one of the few challenges with plain CSS animations. Another challenge is that you're restricted when it comes to how you can animate your elements and components. You have only a few set of methods to play with, except unless you want to dig into the math of I think Bezier curve and figure out the mathematical equations. So there are a few challenges with using the transform property, and frame of motion addresses them beautifully. So let's go back, let's remove these styles and try to do the same thing using frame of motion. So again, the name suggests frame of motion is a library that was created by the Framer team. It has a component called motion, and just like style components, emotion, etc., you can create React elements with motion as well. So instead of doing div, I'm going to do motion.div. So this will give me a component that is capable of animating freely. And as of now, nothing is going to change. But I can now start animating it freely. The first thing I'll do is I'll just append the class name back. Okay, so what motion elements have is that you can give them properties like initial, animate, etc. So initial is the state that you want your component to be even before, at the first render. and after mount you can immediately start animating it. So I'm going to initially set this to hidden, and while it is hidden, I want to give it a few props. I want to make sure that it is hidden, it is moved to the left by -100%. So this X here is a short form for translate X, and then I want to animate it depending on whether the sidebar is visible or not. But let's first refresh the page. It is now completely moved to the left, and I can add in a prop called animate, and here I can do all the magic that I want. So here, what I want to do is I want to make sure that if sidebar is visible, then I want to give X as 0. And if it's not, then I just want to give it the same X as -100. Okay, I'm going to go back, reload the page. Hopefully it works. It is working. So what exactly did we do here? So we added an initial state for our motion.div where the element is moved to the left by 100%. And when sidebar is visible becomes true, it's going to move to its exact position. And when it becomes false again, it's going to move back. Okay, so this property, this object here, you can transition many things here. For example, you can even change the background if you want. Background red, background blue, again background red. Okay. It's not exactly properly visible, but while it's animating back, you can see that the red was being applied. Actually, let me see if I'm making a mistake here. Yeah, so background red is definitely there, except it's not visible to the eye because it's animated very quickly. But you can put in many values here when you want to animate across multiple states. So this is a very simple animation with sidebar. And now I want to talk about the scenario where you have content which will disappear after it's animated. So that's a very, I feel it's a very tricky animation to do, because sometimes you're working with large forms where each form has its own API dependency, and and you want to animate to the steps, like slide to the left, implement a slider where you keep animating across the each step, and each step internally has its own API calls. But what happens is that the moment you change the step, the previous step suddenly disappears and it does not even finish the animation. So this is a very tricky part of animating imperatively using the given tools. We can always do that with the native tools, but sometimes it's very difficult to handle them. So Frame of Motion has a very interesting API to do that as well. So first, let me implement the toast. I have some code prepared beforehand. Okay, so I have a toast here. Yeah, oh, sorry, I wanted to show one other thing. So before I even get to that, so this part here, right, this sidebar, you notice a jump here, right? So this is implementing the a spring kind of animation, and you can always configure them if you want. So you can pass in properties like transition, and you can control the amount by which it is jumping. So one such example is damping, and you can specify 100 or something like that to make sure that the animation is much smoother. Okay, so you can play around with it. There is also damping, there is stiffness, there is mass as well, which you can control how lazily a component is how lazily or quickly the component is animating across multiple states. Okay, so let's get back to motion, the toast component. Okay, so what I want is I want motion.div, and it has asked me this, and internally I want to show the post content. Post content. And I only want to show this when it is visible. So is post visible. Post content I set it to null when I don't want to show it. So post content is true only when there is some post visible is only true in certain cases. This is a pretty naive implementation, but I think that's fine for this tutorial. So what I want to do is if there is some post content visible, then show this, otherwise show. Hopefully that works. Let's go there. Yeah, so it's animating at the top. I don't want that, so I want to give it some. We'll use the same FrameMotion API to handle that. So initially, I want to start at the hidden state, where I want it to start at the bottom at 60 pixels and right at 60 pixels with an opacity of 0. And then I want it to be hidden. So I want it to be transformed downwards by 100%. So I want the toast to show up from the bottom. And then when it's animating, I want all of this, except I want opacity to be 1 and y to be 0%. So this is perfectly fine. I don't have to put in a condition here anymore because each toast visible is true when this is occurring. So the first state will be this, and then it will animate to this, and I think that looks good. Let's go back. Let's go to the page, and now the toast is appearing. So I just put in. So I faked in an implementation where you are generating a new toast content each time, because when you're using portals and models, right, the content in the model changes a lot, and you want to destroy the model once the animation is complete. So this is very similar to the sign up flow that I talked about, where the component is no longer there, but you still have to animate it, right? So again, I try to simulate that. So the toast is appearing, the content is changing, but the exit animation is not there. It is jumping out. So for that, FrameMotion has a very interesting API component called animate presence, and this component is very handy to animate the exit animations of components. So what we can do here is, instead of rendering it inside a fragment, we can grab it inside animate presence, and now I can specify the exit transition as well. So exit is also another prop, and we can just make it point to the exact same props that we passed to the initial prop as well. So I'm going to reload the page, and I'll show the toast. And now it animates nicely. There is an initial animation, and there is also an exit animation. It animates all of that very smoothly. Finally, another interesting thing that we can do with motion components is that the animations are tied in the tree. So for example, I want to animate multiple components in this multiple elements in this component. So I also want to animate this thing. So I can just simply do motion.span and wrap my content in that. So what is that toast content? I also want to animate this. So while it is animating to from initial to animate state and animate to exit, I also want to animate toast content. So I don't have to, just create all of these over and over. I can create something called variants. So I can create something called variants, and I want to have two states: the hidden state and the visible state. So this corresponds to the hidden state. So I'm just going to grab this and put it here, and then this corresponds to the visible state. Grab that also. So initially, I will be at the hidden state, and then while animating on mount, I'll go to the visible state. So it will stay there, and while it's unmounting, I'll go back to the hidden state. And now I just need to pass the variants to my motion element. get to this animation in a moment, but let's just check if this is working. So I'm going to refresh the page now. Show toast, right toast, works perfectly fine. Finally, now because motion.span is inside motion.div, which has variants, it can access those variants as well. So what I can do now is I can give this one its own set of variants, and I'll call it span variant or something just to differentiate. And I'm going to create span variants. Again, it also has, it's basically like when the div animates to the hidden state, the span can also look at the state it is in. So it will know that we are in the hidden state, and it can apply animations based on that. So in the hidden state, I want to do something naive, like I want its color to be red, and in the visible state, I want its color to be blue. Okay, that should do it. I'm going to refresh the page once again. And when I click on state now, you can see that there is some animation going on. So again, this is pretty, in my opinion, very declarative, because you aren't dealing with anything. You aren't dealing with transitions. You aren't dealing with how the animation is going to take place. All of that you can configure almost each and every aspect of this using props itself. Okay, now I want to show you something very mind-blowing, especially for me it was, which is that you can also animate drag animations very freely. So right now I have a very simple container here, a simple box here that doesn't do anything right now. What I can do is I can set a property called drag, and now I can animate this. I can just throw it around. It's going to disappear entirely. Of course, that's not useful. I can also set drag to true if I want to animate it across in both the dimensions. But for now, let's just do drag X. And so while animating it, I can also react to its changes. So if I'm not comfortable enough with just the declarative API, and I want to get a hold of the internals of it, I can do that too. So first, let's start by restraining this div from animating outside this box. That's again very easy. So I can simply use something called drag constraints. And here I need to pass a ref. And this ref is the ref that I want to bound it to. So const ref equals react.use ref. And I can simply put in the ref. Okay. And I'm going to refresh the page. So even if it goes out, it's going to simply rebound back in, and you can control the amount, whether it should even go outside, and if it goes outside, by how much velocity it should come back into the box. Very simple animation. So this is again very, very powerful, very easy to implement, and this is perhaps best used when you want to create bottom sheets, so sheets that you have at the bottom of your iOS. So when you try to do an action, a sheet pops up, and you can drag the sheet up and down. So something like Instagram comments, right? And you can drag it up, drag it down, and so on, and you can make sure that it always stays in the bounds. But implementing that is so easy with Frame of Motion. So the last thing that I want to show here is how you can take control of the amount by which it is being take control of the motion aspect of it. So you can grab, similar to how forms have controlled and uncontrolled elements, right? In the same way, you can also make controlled animations. So what I can do here is, because it is animating in the X direction, what I can do is I can use a motion value. Initially it's at 0, and I can then give this then a style prop, and now this X becomes a value that I can control. So when it is dragged around, I'm able to maintain the amount by which it was dragged around over here in this variable. Of course, you can't simply access it by doing console.log X, because motion value is not a primitive string or something, but you can grab its value at appropriate times when you do something like this. You need to use an effect to do that. But what we can do is we can also animate this component, you can, so as it is being dragged, you can animate multiple aspects of it. For example, if I want to animate its opacity, I want to animate its opacity when it is being moved. So I can create something like this opacity, and I'll use something called a use transform, and I'll just simply map it to the values that my drag will take. So the X will move from something like -100 to 100 pixels. So as it is moving in that direction, I want to animate its opacity from 1 to 0 and back to 1. And now I can simply pass this to, let me set it to 0.5. As I'm dragging it, the X value is changing, and as the X value is changing, I'm going to compute the new opacity that it should be given, and so you're basically controlling two aspects of it by simply dragging an element around. And again, there is no limit to it. You can also animate the background of its parent. There is nothing stopping you from doing that. So background, use transform, X, and again the same fields, and you can animate FF red, then blue, finally. Okay, and I can pass this background to this instead. I'm going to refresh. Okay, so again, so this is very powerful to me, because even while I'm working for my company, working with events like on drag start, on drag end, on drag, all of these are so painful for me, and doing something as easy as this is very powerful to me. And that's why I think FrameOmotion is a very interesting API that all of you should probably try it out for your personal projects. I also use it in my own website. So something like this. This heading here is animated using FrameOmotion. There's also a bar that comes here. So as I'm scrolling down, I'm able to animate just to show how much of the page is still left while you're scrolling. I'm also able to do things like this. So not only am I animating them, I'm also coordinating with the children. Right. So as you scroll, the children keep appearing. I can also animate things out of layout. So FrameOmotion is a very big API. In this talk, I only scratched the surface pretty much. I just talked about a few minor APIs within FrameOmotion, but I hope I have excited you enough to try it out in your personal projects. So if you have any questions, let me know, and otherwise, thank you very much.